Dragon Quest Heroes is the spin-off of the legendary Dragon Quest RPG series, well known for being the first JRPG series made for consoles, as well as influencing a wide variety of JRPGs like its rival series Final Fantasy and Nintendo's Mother series. Developed by Koei Tecmo's Omega Force, Dragon Quest Heroes is a Dynasty Warrior style beat-em-up with tower defense-like strategy, with elements from the main Dragon Quest games like grinding for items, alchemy, and party members from Dragon Quest IV, V, VI, and VIII. It was released for the PS3, PSV, PS4, and PC in 2015, and is one half of the compilation with Heroes 2 with an updated engine for the Nintendo Switch as one of the launch titles, as long as you take region locking out of the equation. The game takes place in the Kingdom of Arba, where humans and monsters live in harmony, until sometime on a festive day, the sky darkens and most of the monster population began attacking humans, and the only one not affected by it is Helix the Heel Slime, who happens to be friends with our heroes Lucius and Aurora, who are also the co-captains of the Arban Royal Guard. The trio retreated to the castle in order to protect King Doric, who happens to be a warrior king, and recaptured the castle, before then seek the help of Ayla the Mechanic, which leads to an invasion of the town where she resided by the monsters, which eventually leads to the five teaming up with the companions from the earlier mentioned Dragon Quest world and save the heroes world from the mastermind who had control of the monsters and destroying the world. The gameplay of Dragon Quest Heroes is similar to the Dynasty and Samurai Warriors games in the fact that you can jump into this one instead of dashing, so it's technically running at a slower pace, as your character is leading a party of 4 as opposed to fighting alone, so dashing ahead of your allies is not a good thing. If you're wondering how much of it is Dragon Quest stuff, you can have monsters be temporary party members after you defeat them and acquire their monster medals, but mostly as either as a post defender or an assist. The characters join your party at various points of the story. You can create items in the alchemy shop, buy weapons and orbs in the armory, items in item shops, search treasure chests, exploring enemy weaknesses, and changing party members. Each party member have different spells and abilities at their disposal, and the characters themselves have played different roles, and most of them reprise their usual roles in the original games. You have Lucius, Aurora, and Terry as your typical jacks of all trades, Doric, Elena, Youngus, and Sorrow as your powerhouses, while Ayla, Kiro, Jessica, Bianca, Nera, and Maya are your spellcasters and support characters. Meanwhile, Helix is not playable, but he'll heal whomever you're controlling, and their low on health at timed intervals. Also, like Dragon Quest, you can participate in side quests, which are mostly item collection and monster elimination, with some occasional battles, which you can do as long as you have access to the world map and have accepted the quests beforehand. Like most video games nowadays, it does have DLC, but that's only in the Japanese version. But for the international Nintendo Switch versions, they're all available as optional side quests, especially with Sorrow, as he was a DLC character for the Japanese release and doubles as a super boss for players to take down, as well as bosses from some of the main games. However, there are a few DLCs for the international versions, but they're pre-order DLCs, which are the slime weapons, a Metal Slime PS4 theme, and Eldrick's costume from Dragon Quest III. So it's kinda late if you want to get them with the PS4, which actually leaves you with the Nintendo Switch version if you wanted all of the content without paying extra for the DLC, and on top of that, you get to play Dragon Quest Heroes 2 after beating Dragon Quest Heroes 1, and probably will be able to carry stuff over into 2, make the game easier than expected. Dragon Quest Heroes is a fun game if you're looking for a more action-oriented Dragon Quest experience and just happen to be a long-time Warriors series fans, or if you're a fan of the latter. You can find this to be a nice change of pace of having to fight in a team as opposed to win in the battle single-handedly, although grinding for items and experience can bore you. But the story of Heroes is actually enjoyable, and the side quests are fun thanks to the humor and the chemistry between characters, especially with the constant ship teasing between which is no thanks to Dragon Quest V girls and flirting from Maya. So I recommend this game for fans of both Dragon Quest and the Warriors series, and beat 'em up fans with knowledge of strategy games.